Hi, everyone. Welcome to my workshop. And my name is Marcy, and I am teaching this workshop today on biohacking. And why biohacking? Because right now the world is in chaos, and there's so many of us out there that are going through a lot of trials and tribulations in our personal life, in our health, in our finances. And it just seems like the energy is shifting in the world, right? And when the energy shifts, we have to shift with it. And we have to know what to do when the energy is shifting because, it's not rainbows and unicorns. And sometimes, the change can be a little bit frightening. But if we can learn how to adapt with our mindset and our body, then, we can actually create this wonderful experience called life, right? And do the amazing things we came here to do and be the amazing person we came here to be, right? So, with that said, biohacking. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Pull this up here. Bigger screen here. Bear with me just one moment while I get this bigger so I can share my screen. Okay, there you go. We got it up. Okay. So this is biohacking is actually basically just the new name for holistic living, holistic lifestyle, or just living, you know, living a more natural way of doing things in our life, right? And not, relying so much on things that are outside of us that, we shouldn't be putting into our bodies. And there's so many of those out there. The chemicals that are in our foods that are causing us to be unwell, and also our water supply, and also um, the air. There's so much, but what biohacking does, it unlocks our human potential from the inside out. And it's basically the performance of your body and your mind. And it starts with our mindset. Biggest thing is our mindset. When we're in our, in a negative mindset, and we're just like, you know, being negative Nelly, negative Nancy. I know you heard people say, what do they call Karen? Oh my gosh, I'm being a Karen today. What is that all about, right? And that's just our moods, right? And we can all get in those real funky moods, right? And when you do, it's just like you just want to slap yourself in the face, right? So who else thinks that, there's too many Karens running around in the world right now, right? Let me take a sip of water first. But there's a lot of Karens in the world. And the key to longevity is to laugh, be happy, enjoy your life while you're still here, and don't be a Karen. There's going to be off days where we really feel like crap, and we're going to be like, grumpy and cranky. But if you start looking at things that you appreciate in life, then it changes a little bit, right? So so with that said, um, don't be a Karen. We don't like Karens. No one likes Karens, right? I know I don't like a Karen, and I can be a Karen sometimes too. So, but if you're Karen all the time, then maybe you got some really serious hormone issues going on. So, anyways, let me get started. So, 75% of high achievers and top performers use biohacking strategies to enhance their capabilities. And, that's athletes and speakers and people that are just going above and beyond, and aren't stuck in mediocrity, right? And if you're stuck in mediocrity, that that kind of stinks. Nobody wants to be there. We want to be above that, right? Everybody wants to be above that, right? So it all starts with the simple, simple thing, which is our cells inside of our little beautiful body that the good Lord has given us. We have what's called the powerhouse cell, right? The powerhouse cell is the mitochondria. And if we are, depleted of our mitochondrial function, you know what happens? Then we start doing rapid aging. And without the mitochondria, we would be 6 feet under, right? So our mitochondria is basically what creates energy in our body. It's cellular energy, and it helps, it really helps ATP production. You remember the Krebs cycle that goes around? Well, if you don't, then, I'm not going over that whole thing. But anyways, ATP production is how your body, produces energy and cellular regeneration, right? And without the mitochondria working, you know, synergetically in this body that we have, then we're not going to feel good. We're going to be low energy, and we're just going to feel like not so good, right? So, yeah, and if we have a good, our mitochondria is working productively, then we can have better brain power, and we can think faster, and we could do things faster, and nobody would call us slow. Nobody would call us the turtle, because we'll be able to be faster. So we just got to get that mitochondria working faster, right? I mean, working synergetically with everything else, so it can be faster, right? So there's a couple different things that really help increase mitochondria function. One is methylene blue. I don't know if you ever heard of methylene blue, but it was actually used a long time ago to clean fish tanks, which I don't understand this whole thing, but science is starting to back it up, but they haven't approved it. But they are talking about how it helps, with mitochondria efficiency. And not only that, it helps with cardiovascular health too. It's really supposed to be really, really good. And they say, for the blood, if you have any, issues with anemia or anything else that may be causing some type of issues with, your overall energy, then I would definitely recommend, doing that, the methylene blue too. So another thing is nootropics. Nootropics are different supplements that help, your cognitive functioning. And we all want to keep our faculties up here while we age, right? Nobody wants to be, not knowing who we are, right? That's not a good thing. We want our mental clarity and our memory, and so the nootropics actually they help with mental clarity, and you can think clearer and more effectively. It helps with memory. It helps improve your recall and learning. Even as you get older, there's, people that are on nootropics that started taking them in their 60s, and they're going back to school to get a second career instead of staying retired, right? So, and it actually helps as a neural protection against cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's, so I would definitely highly recommend, picking up some nootropics. But you have to do your research to find out what company is the most, reliant, has the best reviews, and I'm not supporting any of the companies, so I would definitely find a really good company that sells them. and actually biochemical support, multiple pathway optimization of the brain. So we want our brain functioning as effectively as it can. And that's what the biohacking does. But like I said, it starts with our thinking. But if the body is unwell and we have some unwellness in our bodies, like, maybe we have an autoimmune disease or Lyme disease, or maybe we have type 2 diabetes, or we have any other type of underlying physical, issues, it's really going to play a huge role and play havoc on our mental health. Because, when we can't do the things we used to do, and we're not feeling well, then, it's like a loop, right? So, definitely recommend if you're having any type of physical issues, you need to see what you can do. Find yourself a good naturopath or integrative medicine doctor to help you, figure out what's going on, and start taking the right supplements, and do the right things so you can start feeling better physically, so your mental health can be good too. And it's the other way around too. So if your mental health is not good because of, trauma or anything, from the past, then what happens there is then you're having to deal with you know, physical stuff because it messes with your physiology, and you start having somatic pain, or, different ailments because of your stinking thinking. And stinking thinking is not good, not good at all. So the mindset, as I was just talking about this mindset, right? You have neural pathways that create, different different ailments in our body. So if you're constantly thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, you can still be more tired. If you think, I'm awake, I'm energized, I'm energized, I'm energized, unless, like I said, you have some underlying health issue, then, you're definitely gonna still have some issues, it as long as, but if you're having the health issue. So, but if you're not having health issues and it's just from your thoughts, then, you could cause some issues within the whole physiology. So, but, the main thing is we have to direct our energy in the right place, right? We have to direct our energy towards health and healing and wellness, and feeling our bombastic self, right? So, yeah, yeah, the psychology is 80% success is mental. It's all in our head. So we can biohack our mindset as long as we didn't have like so much trauma in our past that we're like stuck, because sometimes the trauma that we go through in our past, or what's ever happened to us before, can actually cause all kinds of issues. So excuse me one second here, sorry about that. But yeah, because trauma plays a huge role on your physiology, on your mental health. Even if you think it doesn't, you could be the most successful business, you know, woman out there, and still every once in a while you get triggered, right? Because that does happen. It does happen to people. And so, you got to work on yourself, and work on solutions. Be solution based, right? So you have to direct your energy towards answers, not the obstacles, the solutions, right? And because our brain is plastic, pretty much neuroplasticity, your brain rewires with every different thought pattern and everything that changes, right? So your brain is amazing. Our brain is like it's a computer. It's like a mini computer. And, thoughts create physical brain structures. Isn't that amazing? I mean, our thoughts can do so much. So we got to make sure that we're not in our stinking thinking all the time. We don't want to be stinking thinking, right? We want to be thinking good thoughts, right? So practical mindset biohacking techniques. Gratitude. Number one, gratitude. Even if you think your life sucks, still be grateful, right? Even if you think your life is not good right now, you have to be grateful for what is good in your life. Because a lot of us have gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of, transitions. But if we practice gratitude, I'm happy and grateful. I have this cute little apartment, and I still have a car to drive, and I have wonderful people in my life, and I have little puppies, and and I can wake up and I can walk and I can breathe. Those are the things that we need to be grateful for, right? And whatever is on your list to do or your list of goals and manifestations that you want in this lifetime, you have to visualize it too. You have to close your eyes and just see yourself doing it, right? Just see yourself doing it, seeing yourself out there and just doing it and saying, I got this. This is awesome. This is me. This is who I am, right? And just if athletes do it all the time. Athletes go out there and they just, they win because they visualized it over and over and over. And that's what you need to do, whatever you're doing in this lifetime. If it's sales, if it's, if it's music, if it's acting, if it's, speaking, right? Whatever you're doing, visualize it and see yourself doing it every day. And when you see yourself doing it, then it becomes like ingrained. It becomes ingrained in your whole physiology, right? So remember that. Another thing, stress reduction, meditation. Meditation and prayer. Prayer works wonders. And I honestly suggest, I don't know who you pray to or whatever, but prayer to me has really got me through a lot in this lifetime. Prayer and doing some relaxation meditation too has really helped. So, the best thing is to keep up with the meditation, keep up with the prayer, and choose your thoughts wisely. Because even though some days we're Karens and we have stinking thinking, and we don't think good thoughts and we think bad thoughts, and you know it's part of the human experience. It is. But as soon as you realize it and you are conscious of it, then that's a win-win. Because that is when you are conscious of your thoughts and know, oh no, I shouldn't be thinking that. That's not good. That's not a good thing. I shouldn't be thinking that. I shouldn't be thinking that stuff about that person. And then you change it, right? Or about yourself, because especially us women, we look in the mirror and we're like, oh my God, what happened? Don't say it out loud. If you think it a little bit, just say cancel, delete, erase, whatever, right? But the biggest thing is try not to think it, even though that may be difficult, especially we want to be polished, beautiful women, right? And if that doesn't happen, then sometimes we feel, less than. Don't feel less than because, you don't have perfect skin or the perfect body. You're not a size 2 or 22. Just work on it harder to get looking and feeling better, and that's it. But don't, get stuck in your thought process, because that's not a good thing at all. Not at all. So holistic performance. this is some of the things that you could do to biohack, okay? Number one is you can do biochemical, which is like I talked about the nootropics. And there's different other things you can do. You can do IV therapy of vitamins, and they also have the thing where you clean your blood. It's kind of like a chelation, which I've never done it myself, but I've heard from other people that it's really good. Same thing with the oxygen therapy, because oxygen therapy can actually help as well. And light therapy, red light therapy. Oh my gosh, red light therapy is so good for you. The infrared saunas, they are the best. And if you can go find one or purchase one, that is a win-win, because they've done studies on those showing that people that do 2 to 3 times a week of saunas, of the infrared saunas, have a 60% less chance of having cardiovascular disease. So that's a big percentage, right? And I think it's because you're sweating and it gets into into the cells. So, and if you do the red light therapy combined with methylene blue, that actually helps the mitochondria heal too. So, yeah, so that really helps too. It helps with your cognitive functioning as well. And, because our mind and body are all correlated, and if you do that, people say that they feel so energized afterwards and they just want to just like go run. I actually have a infrared sauna mat, which I get in, and you can do it for like 30 minutes, and it's like that material that they put over you if you have an X-ray, and it's a heavy, thick material, but it's really good because it's got the infrared lighting in it. And it's not the same as the infrared sauna, but I still would highly recommend, doing that for sure. So when you're doing any type of biohacking with the body, you should always have I did shut this off. I don't know why I was doing that. Sorry about that. When you're doing any type of biohacking, you need to make sure that you have medical supervision, because um, anything that you're changing, as far as your supplements or anything should be under care of your practitioner or your naturopath or whoever you use to help you with your, overall health. Um, you can work with healthcare providers if you have them, or, coaches, whatever. So, especially with the supplements, if you're starting some new supplements, you need to really make sure that they're the right ones for you. So, it's definitely recommended that actually get a good provider to help you with that, right? And, there's also, you can do, if you want to spend a little bit of money, it's not that much. I mean, maybe like $1,000, but if you can do some biochemical testing, with genetic testing, and test, to see your own unique responses to things. And sometimes there's studies out there too. You can get into studies, and studies will help you find out, what is really going on, but they're usually pretty hard to get into because they're few and far between, right? So, just stay informed on all the latest research, and there's even biohacking communities you can get into. So I would definitely Google your area that you live in and see, where where it's at, if there's communities near you that you could get into. So um, with your biohacking journey, this is it helps if you're just doing just a little bit each day. even if it's not that much, if it's just a little bit, then, at least you're improving. At least you're doing something that is going to improve your overall wellness. And e- even if it's just like eliminate or reduce your alcohol intake, or don't drink any at all, drink more water, or go outside more, and just test yourself and push yourself and do the hard things, because life shouldn't be super, super easy, but it shouldn't be super, super hard either. But if we want to accomplish anything and want to have high performance in our mind and in our body, then what we have to do is we have to challenge ourselves. And that's what biohacking is. That's what, pretty much biohacking is challenging ourselves. And hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And I'm drinking water too, but what, I'm doing a no-no today because I'm drinking out of plastic, which I never do. I always have my water bottle. Today I didn't have it, but I'm still staying hydrated. But the best thing to do is not drink out of a plastic water bottle. But since I didn't have it with me, I did not have it with me. I would much rather stay hydrated. You have to stay hydrated. So um always make sure you're drinking enough water, because you should have like 8 glasses of water a day. And and I know a lot of people, they don't like doing that, because they're like, then I'm gonna have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time. Then I'm gonna have to pee every hour. It's like, it's okay. It's okay. You can pee every hour. That's fine. Just stay hydrated. It's like, even if you're not thirsty, drink anyways, because your body knows. Your body, sometimes you may not crave the water, but the body knows it's dehydrated. It's like, and you need to do it anyways, because it's so important. And light exposure, natural sunlight, not inside. Go outside, even if it's like 10 degrees where you live. Go outside, go for a walk, 5-minute walk, whatever. Spend time outdoors every day, just a little bit. And they also say hot and cold, is really good to boost the circulation and recovery. You can actually do the cold plunges, but I've just read something. Studies are showing that women now need to do more heat than cold, because cold isn't good for especially perimenopause women, because they can't, adjust their regulation from cold to heat as much as, men, because men can do it a lot better, so the cold plunges are better for men than they are women. That was really interesting study that I read. So anyways, and also, diet, 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 diet. We'll talk about more about that, but experiment with foods, because foods will help your moods. It'll help you feel better. It'll really make you feel, vibrant, or make you feel bad. And I know there's another part on here about food, but the most important thing, stay away from things that are chemically engineered, GMO, have glyphosate, all the ones that have the red dye, the yellow dye, all the additives like the sugar cereal, the candies, the high fructose corn syrup, the seed oils. Stay away from that stuff, and add avocado in your daily diet, and greens, and some days, I don't know about you, but some days women, they don't get as much nutrients as they should. So I highly, highly, highly recommend doing a green drink during the day. Powdered greens with a little bit of coconut water. Very, very effective. And it'll make you feel better and give you some energy. And then you feel good because you're getting your greens. Also supplements. I take supplements every single day. And my biggest one that I make sure I take is magnesium and I take my B vitamins, my um, D3K2, and also because K vitamin actually helps the D vitamin absorb a lot better. And I take an omega-3 fatty acid, which is very good because I don't eat as much fish as I should. And also, I just started taking Shilajit for energy, which is really, really good. And I take oregano every single day because oregano is an anti-parasite, anti-fungus, antibacteria, and it helps you, fight off infections if you have any infections going on in your body. So it's like a prophylactic for that. So I would definitely highly recommend that one too. So most important thing right here. Yes, sleep, sleep, sleep. Um, light exposure resets your internal clock, right? Sunlight. So constant sleep wake times strengthen biological patterns. So what it's saying is, you know, years ago, and some people still do it, we'll go to sleep when the sun goes down and wake up when the sun comes up. But as long as you're getting, a good um 7, I say 6, but studies say 7 to 8 hours asleep at night. Try not to be interrupted, but that's kind of hard if you have to wake up and go to the bathroom a lot, right? That's, yeah. And you should always have your room that you're sleeping in cooler, between 65, 68, because it helps the body, and because the body temperature drops naturally during when we sleep. So it's good, it's good to keep our bodies really, really good and cool when we sleep and not too hot. Also, try to stay away from your computer at least 90 minutes before bedtime. Yeah, that's easier said than done. With me, I have a hard time with that because I'm on my computer a lot, and my phone. I'm working on that one myself. I'm recommending it to you, but I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do that yet. I'm working on it. Magnesium glycinate, that's what I take every single night before I go to bed. L-theanine, that is an amino acid, and GABA, which actually helps neurological pathways to have more restorative sleep. So I definitely recommend the magnesium because that is like, yeah, the best stuff ever. So I definitely recommend that. And, if you're if you have a hard time sleeping, you can try the melatonin. Melatonin is really, really good for, if you're having issues sleeping, but some people can't take melatonin. There's some natural, sleep things that you can do, like ashwagandha is good, and lemongrass. What you got to experiment and see what's best for you that doesn't make you feel all groggy the next day, because everybody's different. When someone says, well, I've taken that and I'm fine, and someone says, oh, I can't take that, it gives me a hangover. So that's a difference between integrative natural medicine and mainstream. Mainstream is just like, well, it shouldn't do that to you because that's just what we give to everybody. But with more on a natural approach, everybody's body's different. Everybody has different chemical makeups in their body, and so what may work for one may not work for the other. And another thing, stress management. Oh, this is a big one. Stress management. So stress is is really very, very profound right now. Everybody's stressed out, everybody. But I also saw a study about people that look at stress as being more of a motivator than actually, something that's bothering them, that's, a negative. They look at it as I have this, energy that's like too much, how do I regulate it, right? So the biggest thing is as long as it's not changing our cortisol, but that goes with the brain too. So you have to look at it. If you have like this stress coming at you, you can say, okay, I got this right now. How can I use it in a productive way? Right? How can I use it to be more productive and not use it to be like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. No, we don't want to be overwhelmed. Nobody wants to be overwhelmed. But if you feel overwhelmed like that, that's a mindset too, right? So yeah, so it's all the mindset thing. So there's different, ways to reduce our cortisol by meditation, relaxation. You can get a massage, go for a walk, and and you know, and just breathe. Learn how to breathe. Deep breathing, go. And just keep breathing, right? 4 in, 4 out, right? 4 to the count of 4, and then 4 out. And do 4 of them and see how you feel. It activates your vagus nerve, which is actually the 10th cranial nerve that puts your body into a parasympathetic state, which is, relaxation, right? So the here we go, adaptogenic support. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier to help sleep too. And it helps with stress too. Ashwagandha and rhodiola um, actually helps normalize stress, and it helps at the cellular level. So it's not just like, okay, I'll take it like taking, a benzo, right? It helps at the cellular level. So it helps our cells, relax as well. And also recovery. So many people now, because everybody is on a budget and everybody is on, this financial thing where everybody's having a hard time. People are overworked, so overworked. And it's just like hustle, 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 perform, 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 do this, do this, do this. And you know what happens? Then we get what's called burnout. So we have to have strategic downtime, so that'll help our mitochondria, and it helps regulate our neural pathways, right? And it'll definitely help regulate, right? So I definitely highly, highly recommend that. Relax. And here we go about the red light therapy. Here's more of the things that the red light therapy does. It helps the wavelengths actually boost cellular energy by 200%. Like I said about the cardiovascular, it really helps with cardiovascular. It helps with collagen synthesis. So it increases your skin elasticity and accelerates wound healing through enhanced protein production. So, if you have scars and any type of, injuries on the inside, it helps from the inside out. And it helps reduce inflammation, and especially in the brain, it helps with, so you have more cognitive functioning. And all you need is like 15, 20 minutes and you're good. And a lot of people don't realize, they're like, oh yeah, I got to do it for a long time. No, all you need is 15, 20 minutes, and that's it. So here's another thing about cold exposure. But like I said, I am not sure, how good it is for women. You could do a cold shower, a hot, hot, cold alternate. But they say it actually triggers metabolic function and helps with insulin sensitivity. So does the cryotherapy. I don't know if you heard of that. That's like a dry ice That's, if you can tolerate it, it is a little painful. I noticed that when I did it, it was only like 6 minutes or something, but yeah, it was a little intense. So, but afterwards I felt amazing. So I felt like I had this huge dopamine rush afterwards, and I was like, whoa, because all the blood's going to the organs, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So this actually builds cellular resilience through your tissues too, which is pretty neat. And it increases your norepinephrine, which actually increases your mood and helps with inflammation. Inflammation. We all need, yeah, I don't know why that, two of them on here. Okay. So longevity showing, this is actually showing that biohacking helps with your lifespan. So if you're biohacking, it helps with your epigenetic, it helps increase your length of, how long you live. And because it removes the sensient cells that drive inflammation. And inflammation is what causes aging, disease, autoimmune issues, cancer, everything. It all stems from inflammation. And it helps with metabolic, if we're going through all these things, all these stages, it really helps, our metabolic function if we're doing all these biohacking activities, right? So nutrition, and because that's one of the biggest things. Food is keeps you alive or will kill you, right? And best thing to do is stay away from what I said, high fructose corn syrup, processed stuff, the worst, right? Here's a big one here. Air quality. You have to be good air quality around good indoor indoor HEPA filters are so good. They remove like 99% of all yucky airborne products, airborne particles that fly in the air. We have all these little dust mites and everything. And I read an article about, they did a study about how dust can make you gain weight because it gets into your cells. And yeah, same thing with mold can make you gain weight. It gets into your fat cells, it gets into your adipose tissue and makes you gain weight. So, yeah. So they have a wonderful thing that people do now too is like load their home up with plants everywhere, put them everywhere. You have plants in your bedroom, plants in the living room, plants everywhere, right? Just put them everywhere. So, and what that does is naturally detoxifies the air while reducing stress hormones. So, they say spider plants are the best, the rubber tree plants are good, all these ferns, they all put more oxygen into the air, and that's what we need is more oxygen because it helps our mitochondrial function and helps us create better cellular energy, right? So, ethics with biohacking. Just like anything else, if you are a practitioner, we had an oath, first do no harm, right? And I am not here to cure, treat, or prescribe. I'm just here to educate. So um, that's my little thing, right? That's disclaimer here. And make sure that you're going to a reputable practitioner, somebody who is very knowledgeable about biohacking and knows a lot about a lot of the protocols and what can be done, what can't be done. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. And exercise. Here we go. Oh my goodness, right? Exercise. You know that. We all know exercise is the best thing. And if you're in a area of your life that you're not feeling 100%, and you're going through, maybe some treatment or some type of, injury that you can't work out, you can always walk, right? Walk, walk, walk. That's the best thing. It's best to do, uh, cardio at least 1 to 2 times a week, or definitely so you can get your heart rate up. But like I said, if you're not able to, I would definitely recommend, at least walking. Weights are another thing. You need to do weights every other day. Perfect. You need to do it. But like I said, if you had an injury or an illness and you can't do that, you can do some stretches and just as soon as you start feeling better, get back to the weights. Definitely do that. Yes, exercise, training efficiency 85% for people that do biohacking. So this is really good how if you're biohacking 72-hour recovery window. So if you're doing like a heavy, heavy, heavy workout, then you have to have a 72-hour recovery and which is really good to make sure you do that. So we don't need about the success. The gut, the gut, the gut, the gut. This is my favorite. This is my expertise because I studied this so much, right? And the gut microbiome, right? This is our second brain. And people don't understand how much our gut and our digestion and the microbiome in our gut, which is low bacteria, how it affects how we think and our mental health, because it helps our cognitive functioning, right? The gut-brain axis, which is the gut and all the transmitters and everything that go to the brain, right? Actually helps influence our memory, our focus, and our mood. And we have the serotonin and the dopamine, which are produced in our gut. And if there's not enough good bacteria in there, then what happens is then we start having mental unwellness, anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, ADHD, everything, even autism, right? We have all kinds of different symptoms from that, right? So 70% of our immune cells are all gut associated lymphatic tissue. Did you know that? So your immune system is all correlated with gut health. So it's so important to take care of what we put inside this beautiful body that the good Lord has given us, right? Epigenetics is actually directed how our genetics influence our gut health. And that has a lot to do with, people say, oh, it's not genetic. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of genetics. There's a lot of things that could be going on with our gut that were passed down the line, right? And also how we metabolize things. If our body isn't metabolizing things very good, or if we're not digesting things very good, then it's all going to affect our brain. But mostly if we don't have the right good bacteria versus bad bacteria. So there's so much that, that goes along with a gut-brain axis. So the biggest thing is eating right, staying away from as much alcohol as you can, and exercise and breathe. Definitely breathe, right? So this talks about different techniques, neurofeedback, where you have brainwave optimization, where, they can actually, with music or sound bowls or whatever, help you biohack your cells by just listening, which I've never done that, but I've heard that it's good. And epigenetics, that's the same thing, nutrition and lifestyle. It's your lifestyle. And peptide therapy. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. Peptide therapy. That is, the precision signaling the molecules of our tissues to repair, our metabolic disorders or repair our collagen or repair our organs. Peptide therapy is the best thing that you could do for the body, women especially over 45, highly recommend it. Definitely. It's the best thing. You have to do your research, but I highly recommend it. And, there's all kinds of community resources if you want to get into a biohacking club, right? And there's online platforms, biohacking, um, crowdsourced. There's, local meetups that do biohacking. And there's also, podcast conferences. I know there's a big biohacking community down in South Florida. I think it's Miami area. I think it's down there somewhere, but it's supposed to be really good. But I highly recommend getting involved in this because you will feel like $1,000,000 afterwards. It's going to be so amazing. So why did I do this? Okay, I did this because I know what it's like to go through, a lot of trials and tribulations and not be able to heal this beautiful, amazing body that the good Lord has given us. So the best thing that I am doing for you is I want you to be able to have this knowledge, right? To have this knowledge. So when your body, really feels like it needs it or to prevent it from getting unwell, that's the main thing, right? So I have a couple books out that if you're interested, please message me below. I have it on my website. It is Holistic Horizons and Beyond, and .com, and that actually has some really good workbooks about the wonderful biohacking. But I just wanted to share this information with you today and let you know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there going through a lot of trials and tribulations. And the best thing we have to do is prevent our body from becoming unwell, prevent our body from getting dis-ease, prevent our body from getting cancer, or if we have cancer already, if we have a disease, manage it with some good old biohacking tips, and what better way than to, have a bunch of women together and collaborate and biohack, right? So with that said, I hope you really enjoyed this. And if you want more information, please message me below. And also check out my website. And I'll talk to you guys really soon. Let me see if I can open this here full screen and stop sharing. Let me see. Well, anyways, I don't know how to stop the sharing really quick. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. And please join me for the next one. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.